Valentine's Day. It's only 5 days away. What are you going to do for Sarah? Come on, let's talk about it. What are you going to do for your wife? It's just Valentine's Day, man. Just get her some chocolates and some flowers, you know. That's pretty simple. You can't do that. Everybody does that. You know, don't you owe her a blanket ladder? Because you gave hers away, and she wasn't too happy about that? Yeah, I think you should make her a blanket ladder. Dude, that's a great idea. I can build it from scratch. I can go cut down a cypress tree. I can go mill it on my mill. Man, I can even join it and plane it and then route it, and oh my goodness, and I can make custom dowels, and I can polyurethane it and sand it to like 240, 320 grit. Oh my goodness, and then re-polyurethane it and make it super shiny. I was just thinking you'd go to Lowe's, buy 3 1x4x8s, you know, cut a few ladder pieces and kind of slap it together and, you know, say, here you go, happy Valentine's Day. No way, man. She deserves a custom one, especially since I gave her last one away, and we both know how that went. So I'm going to do the best I can to make the best blanket ladder ever. It's going to be shiny. All right, man, you do you, but Valentine's Day is only 5 days away, so you better get to work. You're right. I'm going to get started right away.
All right, let's get going. The first thing I had to do was find a dead cedar tree to cut down. I was hoping if I found a dead one, it would have a lower moisture content, so that way I could start working with it right away. After I milled the wood, I let the wood dry for a few days to make sure it was acclimated. Then I tested it with a moisture meter and it read 11%, which was good enough for me. I squared off the ends of each board and then face jointed it on the joiner to get one face flat. This is to ride along the fence of the joiner flush. This is so I can get a perfectly square edge when I join the edge of the board. As you can see, joining the boards leaves the board smooth to the touch. After I joint the boards, I move over to my dust collector, I switch it over to my planer, and I'm ready to get to work. After the joiner came the planer. I planed each board down to 7/8 of an inch. I did a few passes with each board to get a smooth, consistent finish. The planer is one of my favorite tools because it takes the ugly rough board and turns it into something beautiful that I can work with. And to be perfectly honest, it's actually very cool to watch the wood chips get sucked up through the clear tubing into the dust collector. For some reason, I find that very satisfying. Once all the boards were milled, I cut each board on the table saw down to 4 inches wide. This will allow everything to be flush when I start assembling the ladder. Some boards still had a little bit of a live edge on them, so this process helped to eliminate that as well. I cut 2 pieces down to 6 foot on my miter saw, and then I made a jig to help me line it up to 10 degrees for the feet of the ladder as well as the top of the ladder. that will be leaning up against the wall. This will allow the ladder to have a little lean and sit flush with the wall at the top. I cut the steps of the ladder where the blankets will lay at 22 inches. I used a stop block to make sure each step was a consistent length. I routed each piece of wood on every side with a roundover bit to cut off the sharp edges and give the ladder a more complete look. I sanded each board starting with 120 grit, working my way up to 240 grit, making sure to wipe the sawdust off the wood between grits to prevent swirl marks in the final piece. I was then ready to cut the plugs for the holes I will be making to attach the steps to the side of the ladder. I got this plug cutter off Amazon and I was very pleased with the result. I will leave a link to this product as well as all the other products I used in this video in the description. I marked a 30-degree angle on the side of the ladder where I will place each step to allow the face of each step to tilt forward. I pre-drilled the holes for the screws, and then I used a Forstner bit to drill a 10mm hole to fit my 10mm plugs to hide the screws I will put in the ladder. This feels like a good time to ask you to like the video if you have gotten any kind of enjoyment from it so far. If you really liked it so far and want to see more of my content like this, I would appreciate it if you subscribed as well. I just really hope you don't watch this video and are like,
"Oh, brother, this guy stinks!"
because that would not be good. Yeah, so there's that. Anyways, subscribing's free and liking's free. And I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers in the next 2 months. And if you want to help me on that goal, I would really appreciate it. And you can do what you want with that information. Anyways, after everything was screwed together, I inserted the plugs with a little glue and a little force. I then trimmed the excess plugs off with a Japanese pull saw. I should have used a playing card cut out around each plug because the saw did leave a few teeth marks in a few places, but you live and you learn, I guess. Before I put my first coat of polyurethane on, I wiped down the ladder to make sure all the loose sawdust was off. I just used a Minwax polyurethane with a foam brush, and I was very pleased with the finish. Once the piece was dry, I lightly hand sanded with 320 grit, wiped down the piece again to get the sawdust off, and then finished the piece with one more coat of polyurethane. And that's it. This is the nicest blanket ladder I have ever seen, and I sure hope my wife likes it. Let's go give it to her and find out.
So nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, blankets to put on it too.